Hi, we have with us the on-screen cricketer who is great at kissing. Yes, it's Emraan Hashmi. Hi, Imran.
How are you doing?
I'm fine, Imran. We'll start with Azhar. Tell us, how old were you? You must be in school, I guess, when Azhar started his career.
Yeah, I was in it was the 80s, and he had started off in the team at 84. 1984 was his first Test match. He had won. He had scored a century in that, and then consecutively in the other two Test matches. But I'd started seeing him somewhere in 87, 88, and after that he became the captain of the team, and he was a captain for almost 10 years. There was only 1 year gap when I think Sachin was a captain in 1998. But yeah, I've followed him. I might not have followed every match of his, but I used to always look forward to seeing him on field because he had this very unassuming, very lazy charm on the field and extremely non-textbook cricketing style. It was nice to see someone who didn't do things by the book, and yeah, everyone knew Azharuddin at that time.
So, what was the feeling when Ekta called you up and said, I'm making a film on Azhar and it's you?
Yeah, if I could have done a somersault, I would have done a somersault. But it was really, really, I've always believed that if there was a film that could, a biopic, and you have to have drama and it has to have a great story, Azhar Bhai's life is something that lends itself to great cinema. I truly believe that. He's had a great career. He's had his ups and downs. Great cricketer, great batsman, very very stylish. Again, was in the news for when he got married again to Sangeeta, and of course the main thing was the match fixing allegation, which took the entire nation by storm. And then of course that went on for 12 years. So I felt that this is something explosive that we're sitting on, and I didn't take a second to think about it. I told Ekta yes.
Okay, so how did you go about it? I mean, the training, the wristy shots he played must have been a very difficult thing to do.
Yeah, to begin with, we didn't get his approval from the word go. I was taken on board for the film, but he had not approved the script at that point of time. He was still a bit cautious. So once he came on board and he read the script, he said that he would want to train me, and I was stressed because here there was a former Indian captain who's going to be training me, and I was like, I guess an average to below average cricketer. But I think it was because of his patience that I picked up stuff in like 3 months. He actually got down on his knees and was chucking underarm balls to get me, get the strokes right, and then I had to slowly imbibe his style by seeing him play the nets and see all his matches. So it was great fun. The toughest was the leg glance, which took me 5 months to master. So my wrists were extremely tight, and it took me like 5 months to open up.
So did you lose weight for that?
For the portion where he's 22, 23, yes, because he was slightly leaner and put on a bit of weight through the courtroom sequences, very slightly. That was the main portion which we shot in London, in the grounds that he used to play in, Edgbaston and Derbyshire. He used to play a county cricket there. So, yeah.
To kya reservations the uske? Why he was not sure that
he had
the film should be made on him or not?
He had just come out of the court case. He had won the court case in 2012, and it was just 4 years ago. So he was a bit cautious. At that time, it was 3 years ago. He was cautious that again you're opening this topic up again, which he has been battling. It's been a nightmare for 12 years of his life, and he didn't want to kind of have any association, even if it's cinematically.
He wanted to forget it.
He just wanted to forget it and just keep that behind him and just move on. But then he read the script. He knew that it dabbled with a lot of things. It has the match fixing angle, but there's more to his life, and he was pretty happy with what was written on paper. And Rajat has written a great script.
तो फिर जब हाँ बोल दिया तो
टूट पड़े हम अजहर भाई पे, और फिर हम अजहर भाई को लेके आए.
So how often was he here? For the
we used to keep getting him here, and I kept going to Hyderabad, asking him a number of questions about his cricketing career, his personal life, his experiences during the court case, his experiences as a captain. How was he before that? He shared this documentary with us, video that was made in his school. So he shared a lot of personal things with us. He gave us his original cricket gear, which he used in the film. So all that really, was, I guess it was great to have him on board and get all those things from him.
So at the end of the day, what did you feel? I mean, what did you make of this whole controversy? Because you lived with him for a long period of time during this movie.
Well, it was unfortunate that he went through with it, and there are critics of his that still would say that, court verdict aa gaya hai, lekin humko pata hai ki he is guilty. But that's with any celebrity or any high-profile case. There is a section of the audience that always likes to have their own conclusion to the matter, which is very unfair. Me as a fan have always said that I have great faith in the judicial system. I will never put someone in the dock and say that they have done it until I've at least followed a bit of the case and understood the verdict. So yeah, for me, he's not guilty at all, because the court has acquitted him, and they must have done something for those 12 years. The investigation was on for a long time.
So he had a very tough time, of course.
Yes.
But you also had a very tough time, Emraan.
Yes.
Before the film,
yes,
maybe a little into the film,
yes,
with your son.
Yes.
I mean, he was unwell.
Yeah.
Could you just
Well,
go
it
a
was
little into that?
It was not during this film per se. It was 2 years before that when he was diagnosed, and it's been a tough time for the family. But it was something that we had tremendous amount of hope, courage, and will to overcome this major hurdle. I think it was like the mother of all traumas to hear that your son is diagnosed with a disease like that. So I think eventually we knew that we had to overcome it, and we did. But it was way behind us once we started off with Azhar, training for Azhar. Everything was fine by then. The worst was behind us, I would say.
So, I mean, you must have had this feeling, why me, when it all started?
That was the first feeling, but then the very instances that why anyone's child, why any adult, it's just very unfortunate. The disease really wrecks not just the person who is battling it, but the entire family. The battle is fought by the entire family, and it's emotionally wrecking for everyone. It's emotionally wrecking for the person who has a disease, physically wrecking for that person. But I think it's very important to accept it. If you constantly say why me, there's a constant, you're just delaying that fight. You have to gear yourself up and say that this is the hand fate has dealt me, and don't complain about it. Just fight it the way you would, and that's what we did.
So the industry stood behind you.
Yes, a lot of people, a lot of calls, a lot of messages came in at that point of time. A lot of people offered their help, and very gracious to do that, and it was very heartening.
Salman, Shah Rukh, Amitabh wrote.
Yes, when they read the book, but Mr. Bachchan read the book, he sent me a note, and Salman tweeted, Shah Rukh tweeted, and a lot of the celebrities came forward and they tweeted and gave me their good wishes, and a lot of them sent personal notes to my place. So it was really heartening, and I was very touched by their gesture.
You have often said, you want to reinvent yourself, and you have been doing roles now which are different, but somehow the last few films have not clicked.
Yeah.
What's your take on that?
There is no take. I don't like to can't demystify any of that. It's just something that happens, and it's your attitude towards these films that really is what defines you. And this is not the first time I've seen this. I've had phases in my career where things sometimes don't work out the way they should, and the attitude is that you've given it your best, and just after this fall, just get up, dust yourself, and move on. If you keep dwelling in that, then there's a problem. For me, it's like a Friday, thing doesn't do well, and I get upset. I'm not saying I don't get upset, but on Saturday, I say,
do you still believe that you should do different roles, or there is a school of thought? I've been talking to some people who say that you should continue to play on your strengths. Continue to be the bad guy, the guy with the stubble.
Yeah, but the industry, not just the industry. I think everyone is a filmmaker. Everyone has an opinion. I get down my building, and everyone who's not associated with the industry will tell you, कि आपको फिल्म इस तरह बनानी चाहिए, आपको ऐसा रोल करना चाहिए. जब कुछ अलग करो, तो कहते हैं कि ये क्यों अलग किया आपने,
और
जब
नहीं
सिमिलर करो तो आप लोग क्यों किसी पिटी बात कर रहे हो आप. So it's a catch-22. It's whichever way you go. Sometimes you have to understand that a film doesn't work. A good film will work. A film that doesn't have takers, that does not, they've not liked it. So there's no other logic to it.
We are coming back to Azhar, but tell me the biggest learning during these 2 dark phases. I mean, the film's not doing well, and even your son's health. What have you?
Firstly, whatever grand plans you make in life, everything can come crashing down. There's nothing you can do when life decides to, I don't know what they call it, your stars change or whatever. It's not in your hands. So everything that you've built so meticulously, and I had success after success after success. Those 4 years, and then suddenly things don't work out that well. You have to just understand that things can go wrong, and not constantly dwell in that self-pity. I'm against that whole self-pity thing. I like to think of it as a passing phase, and then you move on. You just move on to the next. You keep running.
But does it mature you as a person also, that films are trivial and what matters is much more in life?
It has nothing to do with maturity. I might still do a film that might seem immature, and I think if you ask any actor, they'd say the only way you can avoid making a flop film is don't make a film. So choices can always turn out the wrong way. You might end up making wrong choices. I still might end up making wrong choices. But if I believe in it, it's a certain conviction. I work in that role. I work in that film. At least I've given it my everything, and I'm satisfied. Even though the films didn't do well, but still I'll keep moving on.
That's Raz 4 1.
Raz 4 and Azhar, and a couple of other films which will be announced shortly.
Okay, tell me, back to Azhar. You're kissing both the girls again.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to find out. See it in the film.
Tell us, who was more difficult to kiss and who was easier?
It's always easy. I always make it easy. It's never difficult. If it was difficult, we wouldn't shoot it. I mean, we're all professionals, so we all make it work. And no one throws a tantrum. At least so far so good.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much